Going live. Peace and many blessings, family. Oh boy, here we go. Y'all get to see us with half pajamas on, bag on the head. You know what I mean? Peace and many blessings. I know all is well. I am Nikki Love Wunam, aka Nikki Love Wunam, aka Nikki Love Wunam.
And our brother Adinkra, how y'all doing tonight on YouTube land, Facebook? Peace and blessings. Hit like and subscribe on YouTube.
That's right.
Feel free to donate.
That's right. That's right, y'all. Y'all, what y'all see behind us are beautiful cities in Africa. If you ever just thought Africa was the bush, if you ever thought you were just going to go to a safari, what you're seeing behind us are beautiful cities in Africa, okay? Do enjoy. Queen, please, welcome, welcome. All right, family, tonight you know what it is. It is time for African gods. Everybody pretty much is familiar. Excuse me. Well, first of all, welcome to Spiritually Seeing News.
Peace, family.
Okay? Just in time. All right, my sister Adinkra Moss. All right, so I want to say again, welcome to Spiritually Seeing News. I'm Wunam, aka Nikki Love, your African Indigenous Traditional Healer.
And I'm brother Adinkra.
Your African Indigenous Traditional Healer. All right. Okay, family. So,
yes.
All right, family. So tonight, all right, what we're going to talk about is other African gods. Now, everybody is familiar. Y'all got to know Oshun, Ogun, Sango, Olodumare, you understand? Osadin, Obatala. Y'all got to know they worn out. They tired. You understand? Everybody and their mother calling on all of these Orises.
God damn it.
Which is okay. But you must know that everybody must know there's over 3,000 tribes in Africa. I'm going to say Oi, Modibusta, Oi, Modibusta, Antoinette Russell, Kiana Joy. That means hello, welcome, how you all doing, okay, in my tribal tongue, okay? Now, we're saying that you must know that there's over 2,000 languages in Africa and 3,000 tribes. So you cannot think that all the other tribes, okay, call upon the Orises because each tribe has their own tribal gods. And tonight we're going to share some of those tribal gods with you all that's listening, okay? We're going to share some of them tribal gods with you all because a lot of people don't know. There's more than this, just Sango or Shun, you know what I mean, or Sun, or there's more tribal gods. There's over 3,000 in Africa. So we're going to share some of those tribal gods with you tonight. Peace and blessings, Mocha Brown. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube as well. We're both Facebook and YouTube. Behind us, you are watching the beautiful cities in Africa. Some of these cities make New York, Texas, and Atlanta look ashamed. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay? So anyway, family, before we do that, before we go into the gods, do you all have any questions? Are you all familiar with, Santos Pucha? See, Santos Pucha is your the Hispanic pantheon. They're like, wah, or vula. That's what you're, you know what I mean? We're coming with the African. You know what I mean? But we must know again, not every tribe in Africa uses Sango. Not every tribe in Africa, they have their own gods. They have their own supreme deities. Like I said in the beginning, there's over 3,000 tribes and 2,000 languages. Which God is your universal God? Your universal African God? Okay? So we're going to share some of that tonight. Before we do that, we have some questions. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them down. I know it's kind of late for some of y'all. Some of y'all got to go to the plantation tomorrow. We started just to do the show tomorrow night, because we kind of was, dealing with some energy today and took a nap and woke up a little bit late, but decided to still do the show. Hold on, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Let me see if y'all have any questions.
Peace, Patai Hotel. How you doing? How you doing, brother? Peace.
No, all is well. Peace and blessings.
Queen Sheba Gaylord, how you doing tonight?
I'm trying to find my Facebook, y'all, so I can see, because Facebook is not moving over here.
Rest assured, Consultant LLC, how you doing tonight?
Many blessings, family. Okay, so tell me, do you all have any questions before we get into the different tribal gods that are also in Africa? I feel. Hold on, let me turn it down, y'all. We're coming with the African. You know what I mean? But we must know again. Not it. Okay, there we go.
Three question marks says, how does our spirit look compared to our body?
How does our spirit look compared to our body? I'm going to say pure energy. It's pure energy. It's just energy. Like you see, like energy, like electrical currents. Our bodies look like that. Our soul, our spirit. Okay? Yeah. What you think, Brother Dinkler?
I don't know. Shit. Like spiritually, what I be seeing, I actually just see when I'm looking at something, I see. I don't know if I be because I be picking up on people like more than anything. When I spiritually see things, I see a person. Like they look like a person, but sometimes it's almost like I can see through them sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I just see orbs.
Okay, so there you have it. That was from YouTube, right? Y'all don't forgive me if I'm
Yeah,
yawning.
that
I
was
think
on
we should have did
YouTube.
this show tomorrow night. I ain't feeling energy. We ain't getting enough energy up in here. Yeah, I'm thinking. What y'all think? Oh, y'all want to hear? I mean, we got 6 people on YouTube. We got 9 people. I think people go to bed early. What you think, Brother Dinker? Y'all think we should do this show tonight? Should we continue tomorrow night, y'all? What y'all think? Y'all want to hear the show or y'all want us to continue tomorrow night? Because I think it's kind of late. It's a little bit on the late side. Everybody's in the bed. Or people are just not interested in Africa or African deities or African gods. What y'all think? All right. Who asked that question about the spirit?
That I don't know. 3 question marks.
Oh,
They got 3 question marks now, so I don't know.
it's pretty just really pretty much energy, just pure energy. That's what I see spiritually. That's what I could tell you. Okay, that's what I see spiritually. Any other questions, family? Emoji, I knew you was gonna hear it, my sister. You want to hear that with a name like Emoji? Yeah, you want to hear it. We're just waiting for some more people to come on because this is a well-needed topic.
Patah Hotep says, I'm ready now.
Santos Pucci said tomorrow
but,
I have to get up at 5.
But he can wait till tomorrow, but he ready now.
Well, what we're going to do, family, we have a balance here. So, well, you don't only want Santos Pucci. So, Santos Pucci, you can come back and watch the recording tomorrow. We'll probably do a watch party earlier tomorrow of this show. So, we're going to go ahead and record the show for the people who, don't get to watch it late at night. They can do a watch party with us tomorrow, okay? All right, so do you have any questions? Now, I have a question for Umoja. Umoja, why did you give yourself the name Umoja? Did you go to Africa and get initiated? Tell me why you got the name Umoja, or what attracted you to the water gods, the African water gods? Because a lot of people don't know. Africa, I mean, first of all, we got to understand, family, our bodies are made of 75% water source to earth, so we're really water beings, okay? Now, the island of Africa where my family comes from, Cabo Verde, Africa, is covered mostly with water and volcanic surroundings. Okay, so without islands, we have 10 islands on the island of Cabo Verde. Most of our spirits are water spirits, very powerful water spirits. Okay, some of them that you all never even heard of. And there's an old myth that used to go, back in the day. They used to say Cape Verdean women were actually mermaids, that we were mermaids and that we come from the sea, that the people Cape Verde come to feed. That was, from the sea. That was an old, wise tale that they used to tell down through my grandmother, my great grandmother, that we were sea beings and we were mermaids. Okay, but because the island is surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, we deal with more water gods than anything, gods and goddesses. Now we're saying that we also must know that 75% of the earth is water. Okay, now we're saying that because 75% of the earth is water, you have to know that there are more water beings than what you're being told. Most of you are familiar with the Yemaya, most of you are Yamoja, or Mamiwata, you understand? Or Lokun, what's the other earth gods? I mean the water gods. There's
what you say?
I
You
said all
said
of them.
Oshun.
Yamosha, Yamiya,
You got
Oshun is the
Olokun.
right.
See, I can't think of none right now. It's more than that though.
There's a lot.
It's more
Water.
water deities than that.
Not to mention what you
You
all
just
don't
talking
know.
about the Orishas, right?
Well, yeah, the reasons, but you know, in West Africa, like Ghana and some of the West African countries, they deal with Mami Wata, or like in Ghana, they deal with Yamaya or Yamoja, right? So we're saying
Mm-hmm.
that we got to know that those are the popular ones, you know, the ones that I know they got to be trained out and tired because everybody and their mothers calling on these, you know, on these gods. You understand? You got to know they tired.
Non Ether Bantu says
Well,
Ogdods.
right, the Ogdods, right. Now I know aren't those are the ancient. Okay, you have the also those are the Dogon. Those are the Dogon, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the fish gods that come out of the Dogon tribe. Okay, but we're saying that you got to know there's way more water gods than there is land gods.
Then you even and you got the Sumerians too.
Right,
People gotta realize too. Like in modern day Iraq and all of that used to be Northeast Africa too. So you gotta you
right,
got a lot of that is you just gotta know a lot of the stuff that's over there is they were really African deities also,
right.
and a lot of them were in Egypt that they try to cover that up so you can't make the connection.
Right. And see, there's another thing. They were in Egypt, but there's some gods, some water gods that you all have not or will not know about that will come out
Mm-hmm.
in the years to come. But there's water gods, and these are the gods that travel from the cosmos through the Antarctica, through the pyramids, through the Cairo, through the pyramids and the Sphinx. These are other water gods. The city of Atlantis still exists. There's a lot more water gods that you all don't know about that you will find out in years to come. Now, I was saying that again, going back to the island of Cabo Verde, where my family, where we're from, we use more water gods. There's very, very powerful water gods, okay, that you all
Mm-hmm.
haven't even heard of. You understand? And if you all notice, most of your hurricanes brew off of the island of Cabo Verde. Every time you see a hurricane, they're gonna say, "Oh, off of the island of Cabo Verde." You understand? And I laugh because you know that's according to history, the Atlantic slave trade. So I always say that's the ancestors rising up, bringing their wrath to whoop their asses. You know what I mean? So we're saying that, but there's a reason for that because there's a lot of activity under the sea
Mm-hmm.
in that part of Africa and where our island is at. Okay, there's a lot of activity. There's cities under the sea. Okay. So the myth that they used to say when we was growing up, oh, you Cape Verdean woman, Cape Verdean woman, mermaids. There might be some damn truth to that. You know what I mean? But anyway, family, um, we're gonna get. We have any other questions?
No questions. Just.
Okay. All right, family. So we're going to get into the African gods because just to give people a knowledge and understanding of the fact that there are more than just Sango, Ogun, Osun. There's more African gods that, you know, you want to add to your knowledge data bank, okay? Brother Dicker, you want to start with some?
Um. Yeah, we got well in the pygmy. I don't know. I'm just really. For some reason, I'm just attracted to the pygmy people, man. I just love the pygmy. So, I just want to go with their supreme deity is Konvum. He's a supreme deity, and that deity, when they show an image of him, he's a hunter, but he also created the world too. But in their mythology, but he carries a bow and arrow and is made of two snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. You know what I'm saying? I like that because when you look at if you ever watch them hunt on TV, they really get into their ritual work when they're doing when they're
I
hunting,
did,
and
yeah.
they catch a lot of animals just by using their spirits. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm gonna share one. Now, somebody over there on YouTube mentioned the Ogdogs. Okay, those are fish gods, but also you had Amma. Okay, now and I'm gonna compare it because most people are familiar with the Yoruba gods or the Ifa god. So I'm gonna compare and let y'all know this god is the Amma god. This god is the one who created the universe. This is a Dogon god, Dogon Mali Africa. This god actually created the universe and everything in it. So Amma is the name of the Dogon god, and according to their story, I hate when they call it y'all mythology because there's truth. There's a lot of truth. Each tribe has their own gods and supreme deities. Okay, so we're saying that their story is their god Amma, who actually told them how life was created, came back and told them, and created life, universe, and everything in it. Okay, so the name of the Dogon supreme god is Amma.
Nine Ether Bantu says the is a crystal pyramid under the water too.
I know there's a lot of stuff under that water that y'all are gonna see in years to come that they're gonna tell us about. There's
Yeah.
gonna be exposed. You want to do the next card?
The next guy I got is Rang Renat. What how you say it? Renat Ranji.
Mm-hmm.
He's a god of the Moray tribe, but he created the earth, but he was just a god of the in that tribe he was the god of the heavens, and they created the heavens and then the earth. You know it it just shows you they doing when they were bringing these stories and how they were taught and told how life began. And there's a lot of truth to a lot of these stories that we just don't, we like she said, we discard as myth and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, the next god, you are familiar with Ethiopia. We have a lot of Ethiopian sisters and brothers here. Their supreme deity god, and we're just giving you like basics, y'all. Y'all could go research for yourself. Like I always say, add to your knowledge data bank. The name of their god is Arum. Okay, that's the Ethiopian supreme god, which created their universe. Okay, so when you look up their supreme god, it's Arum. It's spelled Arum. That's their supreme god. Okay, what's next?
and then I just got this
Madagascar.
one right there, and it's funny because she was talking about Cabo Verde, but Madagascar, they're surrounded by water also, and their supreme god, you know what I'm saying, is and it's hard to pronounce because it's a long word, but it's Andrea Matera Materia
Andrea Manitra.
Manitra, yeah, Manitra, and those tribal people, they deal with that guy, and it's funny because 41% of the people in that country still deal with traditional healing. So I thought that was pretty high because as we move forward in the 2000s, more and more Africans are getting out of their traditional faith and going to Christianity or Islam.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that that's kind of impressive. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a high amount of people still practicing.
That's right. Okay, so now you have the Zulu. Okay.
That's all I got.
Now, okay, this one right here. The Zulu actually, their god is Amadlozi. Amadlozi. This their god is their supreme god, but it is the god of their ancestors. So they call upon Amadlozi to communicate and through the ancestors. Okay, and that's the Zulu supreme god.
And that's the same with the last deity I just named right here also in Madagascar. That's the same way they go through that. They go through the he's an ancestor god. So they gotta talk to him to create to make things happen also.
You could do this one.
I can't read that. That's that marker.
Um, Bariri.
I'm Bariri.
Of Gabon.
The Gabon god of the Gabon god of the ancestors. This is the ancestor god. That's supreme deity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That one's in Gabon, and it's Ambawiri. Okay. And that one's a Gabon god. And then we have Amokai. Amokai, right? That's so funny.
Because it looked like you was about to yawn in the middle of
Oh
talking.
no. Amokai is a Ashanti god, okay? And she's a woman. She's a woman, y'all. Okay. She welcomes and according to the story, that's their supreme god. She welcomes the dead souls back. So she welcomes the people who decide to come back to Earth. You understand? Back. She's an Ashanti god. Okay. You wanna do another one?
Yeah.
Can you shoot another?
Yeah. Don't they always?
Okay. You could do that one. Kenya.
What's that?
Assis.
Assis,
Assis. Assis.
Assis. In Kenya they got the Assis. Assis created all earth creatures.
Yeah. So
Create
humans, every species on the earth, that's their that and that's in Kenya. That's their supreme deity. Assis. Okay? That's their
Assis.
supreme deity, y'all. Greetings, family. Greetings, Candy Rain. Behind y'all are y'all seeing beautiful cities in Africa, okay?
And you know we just gonna give y'all the names. We want y'all to look them up and y'all y'all can do the knowledge to that.
Do your own research.
And if y'all need the spelling, let us know because we'll give y'all the spelling also.
What's that little pitchfork over there, Candy Rain? What's those little symbols? I see them little symbols. I see the
That's
mermaid.
a try that.
Oh, that's the staff that Olakun holds. I've seen that. But anyway, we're gonna move on. Okay, so you had the God that created all species and creatures, the Assis, and that's in Kenya. Okay, and then you have Bakuba. Bakuba is the Democratic Republic Congo, and Bambo, which is their supreme deity, their spirit. I mean, the God's name is Mbambo, and that God ruled over water and the darkness. Okay, that's their supreme God. So that's the Democratic Republic in the Congo, Mbambo is the name of that their supreme deity. Then you have this one. You want to do this one? Boulain.
Boulain,
Algene.
Algene,
And that's their
control
god.
the rain.
Yeah, that one controlled the rain, but that was one of their supreme deities too. Okay? And then we have Ata Na in Yango in Ghana, and that one is a Ghana in Ghana. That one's the supreme god, creator of the universe. That's one of the tribes in Ghana. Okay? They control the rain, sun, and growth of plants. Again, Ata Na in Yango. Okay? That's that god's name.
Three question mark says,
Not
uh,
my attention, goddamn.
were some of these guys human first? Um, especially, well, most of the ones with the what I find mostly interesting in the African tradition, most of these beings were human first. Um, and you know, like in Yoruba tribe, a lot of like Ogun was human, Ango was human, um, and also what's the other one? Like the especially the ones where the supreme deity is like an ancestor god. Like you go through them and they talk about how that their ancestors had something to do with creation. It's the same thing. A
Yeah.
lot of those had something to do with that. A lot of them were actually human first, and then they were deified later. But they actually were humans that actually had that their gifts were recognized, and so they became deified or they became worshipped as a god.
All right.
And some of them were beings that weren't humans. They came down, believe it or not.
Okay. One of the Angola gods is Suku. Suku is a supreme god in Angola as well. Okay. And then we have Asasea or Asashea. Okay. That's a god either Ashanti in Ghana, and her mother is in Yame, and Yame is her mother, but the mother is the supreme god, and then Asasea, she's the goddess of barren places on the earth. Okay. So just we're just pretty much sharing this with the people so you all can do your homework, because a lot of people are so used to every time you see them. Oh, I want to call. Excuse me, my head is itching. I probably need to wash my hair, but oh well. Anyway, they always, oh, I want to call on Oshun. I want to call on Bata, not knowing that there's over, I mean, the millions of gods that are in these tribes in Africa, and there's just not just one. And like I told y'all, Oshun Ogun got to be worn out. They probably tired, laying up in the beach some goddamn way. Like, would y'all give us a break? You know what I mean? But you should know and have knowledge, and you always want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, where there's knowledge, there's choice. Where there's no knowledge, there's no choice. You should want to know. Add to your knowledge data bank, especially if you're into traditional medicine,
Mm-hmm.
African traditional medicine, and you want to know. You got to know there's more gods. Each tribe has their own gods.
And
Go
yeah,
ahead.
especially if you trace your lineage back to one of these other countries, you want to know what their tradition is as opposed to dealing with a tradition that you might not, that your ancestors didn't practice.
Right. Right. Okay. Um. Igbo, their supreme god is Chukwu, and they even have a Mariaho, which is equivalent to Sango. Sango and a Maria is a Mariaho Oha. A Marioha is
Mm-hmm.
equivalent to Sango, and they are the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. Now, my father's side traces to the Igbo, right? My
Mm-hmm.
mother's side is from Cabo Verde, next to Senegal. But my father's side, so I could use those gods too, okay? But I like a Mariaho or
And
Marioha.
by the number says volcano gods. I didn't find too many volcano gods, but I do know in Europe there's a Sango's dad. Sango's dad, or
Mm-hmm.
some people say Shango. His dad was a volcano god.
Y'all
So
need to start
you
looking up these stories
you can
too.
you can look into that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can look into that. But I can't remember his name though. I can't remember his name. But Sango's dad was a volcano god.
Candy Rain, Sierra Leone. A lot of let me just share this with y'all. A lot of these tribes, okay, don't mind me because my head is itching, y'all. I don't care, goddamn, my head is itching. I'm scratching. All right, a lot of these tribes, okay, a lot of these tribes, they're very private. They're not gonna put their information out like a lot of our spirits from my place in Africa, from my country in Africa. We don't put them out there. You're not supposed to. They're very sacred gods, and you can't give them like there's some water gods that we got for your behind. You think mommy water is a joke or your maja, yema ya or your maja. These guys will do some damage. Okay, these are
Mm-hmm.
some water gods, but we can't give those information to people. A lot of times you're not going to see a lot of the tribes will not put their tribal or their gods names on line because it's sacred.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
that's another thing. A lot of times, we're on Facebook and YouTube, and everybody likes to show up their spiritual work, and and that's cool if you really proud of what you do and you into that. But you're really not supposed to be on your shrines and stuff like that. Like that's disrespect for the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
disrespectful.
Especially if you're doing the work from it.
Right.
So, I just, it just, especially if, coming from the culture, like some cultures is just like you're not supposed to do that. And some cultures it's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? But some cultures is not okay.
And so you got to remember Ifa, okay? Um, Basically, a lot of the Hispanics, okay? A lot of the Hispanics, they came over and they brought a lot of the Ifa traditions with them, but they brought their version. They didn't bring the African version,
Mm-hmm.
okay? They brought their version, which to me, it doesn't matter because you got to remember during slave times they lost some of the information, so they
Mm-hmm.
had no choice but to make up for what they lost. So a lot of their information is a little bit different than what you'll get in the African culture if you go back to the original source, which is Yoruba, to Yoruba land to get the true information about all of these Orisas. Okay, that's why in Africa they don't call it Orisha, they say Orisas, or they don't call Oshun, they call Osun, or they don't call Shango, they call it Sango, Sango. You notice that in Africa. So I'm always gonna go back home. You know what I mean? Always gonna go back home. But we're saying that there's tribes that do not want to share their information that's very sacred to them. So you're not gonna know everybody's tribal gods.
And that's another thing. A lot of times, a lot of stuff you read online, some of it's true and some of it's not.
Right.
And so a lot of times you never know. You might give you might call on one of these spirits and give them a offering that may offend them. Like when I got into a lot of like what I noticed with a lot of the information that's out about like what some of the deities like in Egypt or some of the Sumerian guys like when you actually go to spirit, it's
Mm-hmm.
they don't want the shit this out there like this online. They'll tell you they want this. No, I don't want that. We want this. You know what I'm saying? Especially like a lot of times I even ask her, what do you see? This deity want, and she be like, oh, I said, well, it say in the book they want this, and she's like, nah, they don't want that. You gotta go by spirit. So you end up giving spirit something that they don't like, and then you wonder why the shit don't work for you, or you wonder why you start having problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we
Mm-hmm.
had we had a situation where we had a guy. You know, we had a guy that was being initiated, and he started sharing information with one of the initiates about a Haitian deity, right? And was telling them, yeah, you can give them this, you can give them that, and stuff like that. But all the while, this dude got women problems, and then you started looking into it, and you was like, oh, you can't give that deity, like, if you're gonna deal with that deity, you gotta deal with that deity, because you'll start having problems in your love life and all of this. You can't have sex on certain days if you deal with this deity, and he ain't know all of that. You can't have sex with your certain significant other on certain days and stuff like that. So all these things you need to know before you start dealing with these deities. Like, a lot of people just jump right into things, and you gotta really research, you know, the deity that you're dealing with, and then you really got to go to spirit sometimes.
Yeah, that's very true. You got to be very careful. All right, fam, we're going to take some questions. If y'all got some questions, put them in the chat. Um, in reference to Sierra Leone, they're kind of private with their information, Candy Rain, but they do have some gods. I'll find out the god names of Sierra Leone. I know one of them is Musisi Ndanga. Okay, Musisi Ndanga is one of their tribal gods, and it's a messenger god. But you're not gonna get too much information, because most of your Africans either become Christian or Muslim, and in Sierra Leone, most of them are Muslim now. Okay,
Uh,
Islam. They're following Islam. For you got to go in the bush to find the traditional healers.
Hotep says, right, that's how I was taught. Buck 50 says, is there a god of technology? Yes. I just know, for me, the one I came across was really just in the Yoruba tradition was Ogun. Ogun is the god of technology. He's also the god of war, but he's the god of technology also. Technology, and he's the god of
Iron metal.
paperwork, contracts and stuff like that, iron metal and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And surgery, he's the god of surgery. So, you got any questions
The
on that?
healers
No.
are far in a few years. You're right, Nikki. The healers are far in a few years. You're right. Yeah, you gotta research. Yeah, because sometimes they don't. It's like sort of like taboo to share. Taboo to share. You know what I mean? You can't be
Mm-hmm.
giving your info. Like, I can't give a lot. Certain things are just secret. There's certain things that's just for women. You cannot tell men.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
certain things that are just when we can't tell men at all. Okay.
Three question mark says, what do you see about the gods of Egypt? Why do they have animal heads?
What you see, brother Baker?
What I see is those beings actually really existed like that. They actually came in that form. You know, it ain't just. It's like a lot of people say, well, they represented a certain Zook type, and that's why these guys were like that. I see that these good people, these beings, were actually walk around and look like that. They could shape
Shape
shift though.
shift. That's what I see.
They could turn into a human form also. But I see that, like, even with the Sumerian guy Inky, same thing. He could turn into all kind of shit. You
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So.
Y'all gotta remember, back in those times, we used more strands of our DNA, and this is
Mhm.
what time we're coming into again. So we basically had superpowers back then. So we were able to transform into different things, or birds, or alligator heads, or cat like Sekhmet, or whatever. You know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is, in this day and time, some of us still can shapeshift.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even in New Orleans, is still stories about people that can do that in New Orleans, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
really. And some of them, I ain't gonna say some of them, but, like, some people in New Orleans practice a high form
Magic.
of magic, and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them that can actually shape shift. I know y'all heard of those of you that are familiar with the New Orleans voodoo. I know y'all, some of y'all might have heard of the rigmarole.
Mm-hmm.
Those it's a guy, he'll appear with an alligator head, and then he'll run up on somebody, then he'll disappear, and people be looking for him. Like, that shit, like, that stuff is really real.
But in Africa, I actually have an alligator head that we use to do spiritual work with. So that you have to know that a lot of that information comes from Africa that came through Louisiana. So I'm not surprised. On the cover when she was like, "Oh, it all started in Africa," she was right because there's a certain spirit that I use, and I use my alligator head, and it's a real alligator head, y'all, to send out spirits to people.
Patai Hotep says Egypt has represented personalities like the zodiac, the Leo, the lion head, etc. That's true, but these deities also came like that. It was another deity. I can't remember his name right now off top, but he sort of was like Sekhmet, but it was the male version. He was the god of war, but he wasn't in Kemet. He was
His
in
name is
he.
I forgot too.
I
Something
forgot his
Adepike.
name,
Something like that. Yeah.
he was he was more worshipped in Sudan, and he was more worshipped by the Nubians.
That's right. All right. So Candy Rain. There's certain African herbs that we have. Okay. That we put them in your body. You can put them in your body, and they make you invisible to people. This is real. But they have to be put in certain cuts in your body, and we put it in your blood. We cut you. We put the medicine in. It makes you invisible. So that's real.
I don't know. Have y'all ever seen the what is it? The Beast with No Nations. The
Beast of no nation.
Beast of No Nations with what's his name?
Idris
Idris
Elba.
Elba. That it's a scene where they get it. They go to traditional healers, and they get these boys. They get spiritual protection, and the spirit, they put the spirit with them, and when they shoot at them,
The
they
bullet.
shoot, the bullets don't hit them. They go astray. Every
Yeah,
time they would shoot at them, they would go astray. That's real.
that's real.
And then but as the movie went on, they started doing a lot of shit that was unrighteous, and those spirits got taken from them.
Hmm.
But that shit is real.
Another thing I want to share with everybody, a lot of people don't understand, even in African traditions, a lot of African traditions, we use the same thing. Because I know somebody was like, "Oh well, they use this in Yoruba." I get a lot of my medicines from my Yoruba brothers and sisters, but I can make medicines too. So a lot of times, in the same, we use black salt, we use charcoal, we use the same. In all the different islands,
Yeah.
we use a lot of the same things to make medicines. And
Yeah.
people think it's only Europe, but don't get it confused. We do
Yeah.
it too.
Cause we make medicines also. We both
Yep.
make medicines,
We both make
and sometimes,
medicines.
but sometimes our medicines call. Not to cut you, baby,
Hmm.
but sometimes our medicines call for herbs that only are grown in Africa. You
Right. We
know.
have to send to Africa for the herbs. So a lot of times people don't understand. Just not Europe, but we make medicines, we make soaps. You know what I mean? I like to support. Like we don't have in Africa, we don't have a problem with dealing with our fellow brothers and sisters from other islands other countries or traditions. We buy stuff from them too. They buy stuff from us. That don't mean one's more powerful than the other. We don't get into that in Africa. We don't do none of that. It's only here in America that Africans in America that go over to Africa come back and get an ego and think that it's all about just that tribe. We don't do that because we've had people come over from Europe or to certain parts of Nigeria to Cabo Verde. We have a lot of Nigerians in Cabo Verde, right? So the thing about it, they'll come there or they'll come to Ghana or Ghana to go to the Igbo tribe to go to their traditional healers. They'll come to Ghana to their traditional healers, okay, for the traditional healers here and be getting work from all over Africa. Don't get it confused. Especially the modern day ones, they know.
Yeah. Um. Uh. Patai Hotep says, "Gotcha." He said, "Was it like Gilgamesh?" Gilgamesh. We talking about the tablets of Gilgamesh.
And they talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's what you're talking about. What question did you have
So,
for me?
through question mark says, what do you guys see about Anunnaki? You want me to tell you who the Anunnaki were? Well, y'all probably already know the Anunnaki
Tell
was
them who
just
the Anunnaki
what
was.
was a Sumerians. And a lot of people, a lot of these youngsters that are in their 20s and 30s that are coming back, they're the ones like you see them with these long beards and shit like that. A lot of these brothers have Anunnaki energy. A lot of them, when you start reading them and stuff like that, you'll see that they were in ancient Egypt or ancient Samaria at the time. When we start doing the readings, especially if they get past lives. Droney 0201, thank you for the donation. You donated $50. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joni. All right. Now, the Anunnaki. Anunnaki. Sumerians, the ancient, what we call Cometians or Egyptians, all one and the same. But they'll have you to think they're all different.
Yeah.
But they're all one and the same. Don't get it confused. Okay?
Yeah, all of these beings were all over the earth.
Right.
So, like, even when you start going into Mexico and you start seeing, like, when you start looking at the reliefs in the pyramids in Mexico, like the Mayan reliefs, you'll see the people that are there today, and then you'll see these big black gods that they're worshiping, the Mayans. I mean, that they're worshiping. So, like, these are really just the same people.
That's right.
That's why that some of them, even if it's a different culture, some of their names are similar or their powers are similar and stuff they do is similar. Because what they try to, what the European scholars try to do is create a disconnect. So you think that's all different cultures and that all this shit was all together at once. All these beings walked around the earth at the same time.
That's right. That's right. All right. Any other questions, family? Let me see. We got about 17 more minutes on here, so y'all come with the questions. Come with the questions. Y'all see my head been itching, y'all.
And what we will say, like what we will say about the Anunnaki, with the Anunnaki are really, those beings are they're really tied to the Egyptians also. Like you think that these Sumerian deities, they're all ancient Egyptian. All of them are tied together. They're the same. That you know, if you do your research heavily, you'll see that they're connected. Like Inky is is um is Jahuti's father. So, but they don't give you the connections. They don't put all the connections together unless you really do the research.
That's right. Any questions, family? Any questions?
Y'all got any questions on YouTube?
Any questions on Facebook? Y'all getting kind of laid back. Y'all have any questions?
Patai Hotep says, do y'all feel from the discovery of the three pyramids in Antarctica that it will intro into some additional prehistoric gods?
It may, Patar. They might, but you see, there's so much. You got to remember, Africa is vast. You know what I mean? There's so much more that we're still gonna discover. Like I told you, on my island alone in Cabo Verde, West Africa, there's a lot of water deities. People don't even know water deities. They don't even know, and we don't share them. We don't share them. But let me tell you this: there's going to be more that's going to be exposed from ancient times, some new ones that we never heard of, because everybody is used to, the regular, Herus and the Patas and the Kepras and all of that, going to ancient times, and then you got your Anunnaki, which is your Sumerians, okay? And then you got your present days, your Yoruba, your Ifa, you have those, you know what I mean? So there's going to be more that's going to be real. The ancestors is about to reveal more gods to you all from ancient times, from the sea, and from present day.
Yeah, and what we have to realize, family, as like the ancient Kemites or the Egyptians, whatever you want to call them, when they migrated and when they moved from that region they were in, sometimes they had to move and pick up their stuff and move. A lot of times, you talking about the people that carry the oral tradition. Some
Right.
and sometimes and mix with other tribes. So they created other guys, and these other guys had similar traditions and stories of the Kemites, but they just changed their names and created a new god and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's the same thing with that happened to in New Orleans and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, three question mark says, what do you guys think about Tahuti?
Tahuti di Jahuti. What do you want to know? Very magical. Very magical. That's what I'm gonna say. Three question mark. Very, very magical. I believe, which I do, and we can summon Tahuti to do work for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can summon Tahuti, but you want to call him by his original name. Okay? You can summon him.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't. Three question mark says, are the Emma tablets true? You want to
You
answer that?
know, I have a book. It's supposed to be the Emerald Tablets, but I'm gonna tell you what my spirit said. Okay. Let me just share this story with you all real quick. There was a white woman who came into my store, and she had been over to Kemet several times, and she said she sat in the pyramids
And
and
meditated.
meditated. But spirit led her to bring us all the stuff she got from Kemet. So she gives me a book, and I got it right here. The book that supposedly is the Emerald Tablets. She gives me an ancient form of divination that was done in Kemet.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the ancient ancestors, was making her do that because not only did she come in, another young white lady came in and gave me a piece that her father got from her in Cairo. And she said that she knows that the Egyptians were black, and she said she knows. She said this is called a Waishubitis style, right?
Mm-hmm.
She said that she knows that it belonged with us because bad things were happening to her and her family. But she goes, I know they're black, and this spirit wants to be with you all. And her dad went to, oh, he was an airline pilot. He went over, he bought it because he knew she was intrigued with Egypt, and he bought it to her from Egypt, and she came and gave it to us. She was the first white woman. She was a young white girl. Second white girl that came in, white woman that came in, she gave me a whole bunch of books that she got in Egypt. But long story short, I have the Emerald Tablets. Okay, we're saying that um, when I was reading it, I couldn't get with it. It sounded too much like Bible, like the Old Testament Bible. It could be that they got their information from the Emerald Tablets. Now, with saying that, I had to go to Tahuti or Dijahuti myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like some of it is true, but I feel like some of it is man-made. So my suggestion would be to you is to summons Dijahuti yourself. Okay? Call upon the spirit. Call upon the deity. Call upon him and talk to him and ask him to reveal to you what you need to know about the Emerald Tablets, the real information. Because now you got Billy Carson saying that he decoded it. I don't know about that. I
Mm-hmm.
studied his spirit a little bit. I'm not going to say whether he's bad or good because I don't. I didn't study it enough to tell you if I see that he's telling the truth. So I can't really comment on that, but my spirit is feeling a little bit funny about that brother right there. Okay? Not bad, but I don't know. I got to study him some more, so I'll see. But we're saying that um, I really prefer to call upon these ancient deities or gods or goddesses
And get the
and get the
information.
information for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't read a goddamn book.
Yeah, because like I say, a lot of times these books they don't tell you the truth for a reason. You think they want these black people that are really tied and connected to these ancient deities to be calling on them and giving them the right offerings and asking them and summoning them
Exactly.
the right way? You think they want that?
No, they don't want that because
Because
they scared.
one thing I know about the European, they know that our spirituality is real, it's not made up.
My sister Umoja, there's a book and it's like a world, if I can remember, it's like a world encyclopedia. But it's sort of like I think they call it something witches. I gotta find it for you. I'll look it up for you because I heard about. I seen it years ago. But it's supposed to have all of the different gods around, not just African, but around the world. Okay.
Yeah, it's a they got an encyclopedia too of and it's got like the 3,000
Yeah,
2,000 or 3,000
gods, African gods
deities in
in
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you might want to try Kings and God. It's called Kings, Gods, and Spirits. African, of course, they always want to say mythology, which is bullshit. Okay, Bakume Madra. African, of course, they always want to say mythology, which is bullshit. Okay, Bakume Madra, bullshit. No, African truth. Don't get it confused. But we're saying that it's by, let me give you the
But
author.
a myth.
Jan
Go ahead.
is Jan Napert, Napert.
Spell, yeah.
Knappert.
I was just
Okay.
saying you might want to spell it for her. But a lot,
Yeah.
what you realize too, a lot of times, family too, is that what people they say to throw you off to make you think that it's not like it's not
That's
true, like
real,
it's
right?
made up.
Like it's made up.
But a myth is just a story that's been passed down and you can't really verify, but you know there's some truth to it. You know what I'm saying?
They can kiss my ass. They can kiss my natural ass. It ain't no goddamn myth. It's real. They need to come to Africa and see. They need to come see.
Patai Hotel says this reminds me of a book I read called The Celestine Prophecy. Nine insight
I
that
heard of
was
that book.
discovered in Peru that had messages from the world for this day and time. Yeah, you know, I a lot of the people that are into the occultism, they really like to talk. They really big up the Celestine's prophecy, or they either big it up or they shit on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no in between with that. That you know, they either big it up or they shit on it. The scholars that I respect, they kind of shit on that. You know what I'm saying? Because of the people who wrote it, just like they shit on what's his name, Aleister Crowley. You know, because Aleister Crowley he was actually a double agent for the United States for the
Mm-hmm.
CIA and for Britain, the MI6 or whatever. So a lot of these people who give you this information, you know, some of it's true and some of it ain't. You know, the only thing the story that the only story that I really got into about Aleister Crowley was when he was in Egypt and he looked at a relief and he said a spirit took over his body, Awas, and he went home and wrote. That's when he wrote the I forgot what book it was, but he went home and wrote a book and he wrote and wrote and wrote. He went in a trance and wrote this book for like 3 days.
Okay, so
But he was real. He was nasty. He used to do all kind of sick
Adeku
shit to his
Eugene
people.
says, does the god Mammon rule the United States? No. Nope. Why do you ask, Adeku? Why do you ask that question? That's what you was told. Is Mammon rules the United States? You got to remember, this land at one time was one whole land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
United States wasn't always United States. States. We all used to be one landmass. So really, if you want to get technical, you had some of the people that worship certain gods here, such as the American Indians, that worship or created their own gods. But you got to remember, family, like we said earlier in the thing, there's over 3,000 tribes in Africa for one. But just imagine, that's just Africa. So
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about American Indian tribes here that originally come from Africa because we walked all over the earth. You got the Chinese, their gods. So just imagine how many gods, you know what I mean, there is.
Yeah. Three question marks. Three question marks says, what do you guys think about consciousness? Um, as far as me, I don't really believe in consciousness like as a whole. Like everybody believe in this and that. Oh, this makes you conscious. That makes you conscious. You know, I I base people. You know, I judge really people. I judge people on their character more than anything. Cause I met people that were so called conscious, and they were just some evil ass people. You know what I mean? They feel like, oh, because there's no since they believe, you know, since they have a certain knowledge and understanding of certain things, they try to hold that over people's head and use that as a reason to take advantage of people or mistreat them. And that's what I don't like about the so-called conscious community. And then whenever you get into consciousness and it becomes a form of entertainment, and you start acting like the white man, and you start making up statements that are kind of stupid, like, you know, that you know in your hearts of hearts, you know it's not right for be putting out there to the people just so you can make some money, just so you can people keep people pulled in and sucked in so you can make money. I just That's what I don't like about the so-called conscious community now.
Adeku says it's supposed to be the Greek god of currency. Okay. He ain't running no goddamn United States. If that's the case, if he run United States, then the United States wouldn't be bankrupted to China. So the United States better get down on their knees and start praying to goddamn that Greek god and tell him to bring some currency to this bitch. Because, you understand? You know what I mean? And they ain't doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the god of this land. Shit, why we got poor people here in the United States? Why people starving? Why homeless people here? What happened to that God? Is the 1% of the elite the only ones that's calling upon them, calling upon that God to get money? Is he only blessing them or whatever he's supposed to be doing? Shit, God damn it, goddamn mama. Let's call her mama right now. We need some goddamn money right now. Where you at, mama? Greek God, come down and give us some goddamn money, because a lot of us on this line need some cash. All right, don't get it confused. Cause see, people, hey, you know what's funny, y'all? Cause people think we got money. We ain't doing no better than none of y'all on this line. Trust me when I tell you, people really think we got a lot of money. I don't know what it is or why they think so, but it's because we do a video. Cause this is on the phone. You know what I mean? Is it cause what is it that makes people think we got money? Shit, we living just like y'all. We live from paycheck. You know what I mean? Not paycheck to paycheck, because we work for ourselves. But the point is, they think we got a whole bunch of money. Shit. Not a bunch of money would be out here once a month, goddamn. I'll be traveling somewhere back home to Africa and relaxing on the goddamn beach. Shit. Like we got money like that. Come on now. All right, y'all. Any more questions before we skedaddle off of here? Because I'm getting tired, y'all. We had a little nap, but I'm still tired. My head is itching. I don't know why. Yeah, this is my real hair. It ain't fake. Because y'all know how people, like, oh, you got to weave. No, I ain't got to weave my hair. My goddamn scalp is dry and it greases up, and I always wet it at night. That's why it's probably itching. I need to put some coconut oil in there and some shea butter.
Through question mark. What do you guys think about the hermetic principles?
The hermetic principles come from the ancient, the alchemy of Thoth or Tahuti.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing but alchemy. They took that from the ancient ones. The hermetic principles come from ancient alchemy.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff come from the ancient Africans or the ancient Kemites.
Yeah,
But
even Nubian Africans. Don't get it confused.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a book on the hermetic principles. It was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, really, really, Adeku? Yeah, go back and watch the show. Actually, we wasn't. We just did a brief show the other day, Adeku, because we wasn't gonna do a show, but we got a message from the Jupiter and Venus that we had to give a message. Okay, so that's why we got on, because we wasn't supposed to do it Sunday. We'll be back on, because another thing, we're gonna be doing Oracles of Truth every other Sunday, and because we're gonna start filming soon, so we'll be doing Oracles of Truth every other Sunday. We'll be doing our spiritually speaking news during the week. But that was just a last minute show. That wasn't planned. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but go back and watch it, because we had information from Venus and Jupiter. We had to let the people know what's really going on with that, because they was aligned with each other last month. I wanted to know why my ancient gift is what? Your ancient gift is what? Oh, you wanted to know what your ancient gift is, Adeko? A Deku with a name like a Deku, you should know what your ancient gift is. You are a healer. You are a high priest. You're a high priest. Y'all see, I really need some goddamn. I need to think. Can you do my scalp for me? Because my scalp is dry.
I do your scalp.
All right,
Might
y'all.
not put it right, but I'll try.
Don't pull my hair. All right, y'all.
I always put your hair.
No, he don't. He's lying. He's lying, y'all. All right, Adeku, yeah, you're a high priest. You're supposed to be doing the work we doing. Yeah, you're supposed to be doing our work. Don't get it confused. Okay. All right. Let me see, family. Oh, y'all, we 1 hour in. We'll give you 5 more minutes and we out. 5 more minutes and we out. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. 5 more minutes. So did y'all get the list? The list of the African gods? I'll give y'all one more. One more, which is a very powerful god. Those of you who deal with Europe and Ifa, you know about Olokun. Very powerful, right? Very powerful. There's one more. You right, Patar. You gonna make it for me? These are African berries and some juices. You right. Cause my head is itchy, I think. And the thing about it is that I use this other stuff. It's made by a black woman. I'd like to support black women, black businesses. So she makes it. I can't remember the name, but she's black. I use her stuff, but I need to get some more because I ran out. So that's why my hair is dry. But I am gonna make my own though. I know how to make it. I got some. I just bought a jar the other day to make some. I just been too busy trying to make other shit. But anyway, one more is another very powerful, and this is the guardian over the whole sea. I'll go write this down if you want to. The guardian of the whole sea is Kimbundu. Kimbundu is the guardian of the whole sea. Very, very powerful African god. Kimbundu. And you can give an offering to the sea, to this African god at the sea. Some food, some clothes. You call upon this sea god, and he will move mountains for you. No, he'll move that ocean for you. Okay? He will bring some goddamn tsunamis for you. Okay? What you looking at, the back of the TV?
No, I'm just listening.
Kimbundu, a very, very powerful god that's over the sea. Actually, it's androgynous. It could be she or he.
Yeah, a lot of them are, like most of them are androgynous when it comes to the sea for some reason.
And that god is over the Atlantic Ocean. And it comes from my island, or my country in Africa, Cabo Verde. Very powerful. It's over the Atlantic Ocean. That's why when you see them hurricanes brewing up, you must know it's Kimbundu. Okay, Kimbundu is coming with his or her wrath.
So when they name that hurricane American name, just know that's Kimbundu coming with some ass.
Exactly. Remember that. So they give them all kind of names when they come. Oh, this is Hurricane Sandy. This is Hurricane this. No. Just know it's the spirit of Kimbundu coming rising up out of that sea, bringing its wrath to tear down some shit. Okay?
And you could tell, like America, like the name the hurricanes based on the political climate.
Yeah.
One year when they was having a lot of killings about, black people get killed, they was naming all the hurricanes, black people names, and then when they was like really making a big deal about immigration, they were naming all the hurricanes Hispanic names. They'd be on some shit, man. They'd be on their ritual shit with the media and all that shit. It's funny because we was watching the show 4400. And the politician, the guy was talking to the politician, and he was like, somebody went on TV and said the politician did that and this and that, and the guy was like, the guy standing in front of he told the politician, but he said, but I'm pretty sure that everybody knows is that not true. The politician said, I don't give a shit. It was on TV. It don't matter if it was true or not, because and see, that tells you right there the effect that TV has on people. You know what I'm saying? He said shit. He didn't give a shit. It was on TV. So, like, in other words, it's saying it doesn't matter if we know it's not true. Everybody, these dumb motherfuckers that watch TV gonna believe it.
Yep. Well, there you have it, family. On that note, it is now 1:04, and we want to thank you for tuning in to Spiritually
See you news.
Seeing News. I'm sorry, I thought I heard your cat, y'all. A little badass somewhere running around here. Spiritually Seeing News, we want to thank you again for tuning in and listening to the topic tonight, which is which God governs your universe. Do know that there's over 3,000 tribes in Africa and over 2,000 languages spoken, and there's so many gods. Gods, like we say in Africa, it's an African proverb. Everywhere there's sky, there's spirit.
That's right.
Everywhere there's sky, there's spirit. Remember that African proverb.
Everywhere there's water, there's spirit too.
That's right.
Well, I guess sky's over the water.
Yes, sky's over the water. So everywhere
but deep
there's
down
sky,
in the ocean, there's spirits.
deep down in the ocean, it's spirits. And remember, the ocean has the most spirit. All right, family, and remember.
And thank y'all on YouTube. Thank you, Droney201 for the $50 donation.
We appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all on Thursday.
All right.
Thursday?
Yeah. Hit like and subscribe on the YouTube channel.
And those of you who are on Facebook, if you have a YouTube, look for us for the Nicky. What did you change it to?
Nicky Love Wunam.
Nicky Love Wunam on YouTube. Okay. Why'd you change it from the Nicky Love show?
Because every time I type in Nicky Love, it was nothing but a bunch of Nicky Loves. Like it was when I started doing the channel, it was only like maybe 3 Nicky Loves. And now it's like the bigger a channel get, the more Nicky Loves I see.
Oh shit. I need to start using the original, the Wunam first, right? My first Wunam first, and then Nicky Love. Nicky Love is my middle name, y'all. That's why. Well, my middle name is Nicole Love, but that's why I use Nicky Love because it was more. But I'm gonna start just using Wunam because it's not. That's my first name, Wunam.
All right.
Okay. All right, y'all. On that note, we'll see y'all on
Thursday
night.
Thursday night.
We're about to get up with you. I'm about to go to bed. I'm tired.
All right.
All
Peace,
right.
family.
Y'all have a good night. Blessings.